Welcome to Math 1120 Clinical Calculations with our OER textbook at Pikes Peak State College. Chapter 13, a couple challenge problems here. When you are solving an equation, your goal is to find all of the numbers that will make this original equation true. So we are looking for what numbers equal to y will make the left side equal the right side after you plug that value in for the variable y. So your goal is to isolate y by rewriting the equation until it becomes an equation where the answer is incredibly obvious. All right, given this situation, I found my equal sign. I can now do whatever I want to both sides of the equal sign. I'm noticing the left side is multiplied by this fraction. I like to get rid of the fractions, so what I'm going to do is choose to multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. I'm going to pick the number 3 and multiply both sides of the equation by 3. Write down what you are doing to both sides of the equation. Now, I'm writing parentheses around the right side because I have to multiply the entire right side and the entire left side by the same thing. Notice on the left side, I have 3 factors, 3 things that are being multiplied together. I have the number 3, which I've written as 3 over 1 on the left, times the fraction 2/3, times the quantity 8y minus 12. Then on the right side, I have 8 plus 5y that is multiplied by 3. On the left side, you need to remember that when you multiply, you can multiply in any order. So since I have 3 things that are being multiplied, I'm first going to multiply the 3 times 2/3. So here's my scratch work. So I have 3 times 2/3. If you go longhand, you'll find out the answer is 2. If you know the shortcut about multiplication, you'll recognize quickly that the answer is 2. So the left side of my equation is the same thing as 2 times the quantity 8y minus 12. If you need to pause the recording, do so. On the left, I multiplied these first 2 factors here. 3 times 2/3 is the same thing as 2, so I rewrote it as 2. And then I copied the rest of what was in the parentheses. Right side, I have 8 plus 5y times 3. If you want to write it as 3 times 8 plus 5y, you can. The associative or commutative properties let you switch things around. So multiply 3 by each term. 3 times 8 is 24. Positive 3 times positive 5 is a positive 15 times y is 15y. Now on the left side, I'm going to distribute this 2. Again, keep your equal signs lined up. 2 times 8 is 16. Positive times negative is negative. And 2 times 12 is 24. My right side is still 24 plus 15y. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide whatever you want, so long as you do the same thing to both sides. I want to get all of my y's on the same side. I have 16 on one side, 15 on the other. Personally, I prefer a positive number, so I chose to subtract 15y from both sides. I'm now left with 1y on the left, minus 24, which is the same thing as 24. 0 is not the correct answer. This minus 24 is in my way, so I'm going to choose to add 24 to both sides. Y equal 48. Whatever number will make the equation y equal 48 true is the same value that will make this original equation true. Again, what I did here was I multiplied both sides of the equation by 3. because I wanted to clear this fraction. On the left, I wrote it as 3 over 1, and on the right, I wrote it as 3. Please note, I don't need to distribute that 3 to the 8y minus 12 because I first multiplied these together, and then I only needed to distribute this 2 to the 8y minus 12. There's your final answer. One more for this other challenge problem. I'm going to first get rid of the fractions. I'm looking at the fractions here for 22. I notice the denominator has a 3 and a 6. So what I'm going to choose to do to both sides is multiply both sides of my equation by 6. Make sure you understand where your parentheses are. So you're doing the same, make sure you know where your equal sign is. So you're doing the same thing to both sides of the equation. Write down what you're doing so you and anybody looking at your work after the fact can follow it. Now, I need to notice that there's a plus sign right there. So I have 6 times 2/3. Why they have 8y minus 12 again? I don't know. This 6 has to be distributed to each term. So I'm going to copy that plus. And then I have 6 times 5, 6. So in this one right here, times 8y minus 12 equals, and then this 6 gets distributed to each. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 4 is 24. Y. There you go. Sure, I keep my equal sign. Understood. So now here I'm going to multiply this together. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 8y minus 12. If you're having trouble multiplying fractions, let me know. Glad to help there. Multiply the top. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Each line needs to have the same value as the line before it. So rewrite everything as much as you can to keep your equal signs in line. It can help you organize your work. I'm going to multiply 4 times everything in the first term, and then I have 5 times everything in the parentheses there. 4 times 8 is 32. Y's positive 4 times negative 12 is negative. 4 times 12 is 48. Plus 5 times 8 is 40. Positive times negative is negative. And 5 times 12 is 60. I still have 36 plus 24y on the right side. Left side, I have 32y plus 40y. I have minus 48, minus 60. I'm going to combine the terms that are alike. Gaining 32 and gaining 40. It's the same thing as 72y. Minus 48, minus 60 is minus 108. All of that is the same thing as 36 plus 24y. Again, trying to keep these equal signs lined up so I don't make silly mistakes. Now do whatever you want to both sides. I have 72y on the left. I have 24y on the right. I like my variables to be positive, so I choose to subtract 24y. You could subtract 72y from both sides. That's fine. Now, here's a shortcut. I know my next step will have the y's on the left and just numbers, and I know that this next step, I will want to get rid of that minus 108, so I'm actually going to add 108 at the same time. If doing this red and blue step at the same time confuses you, don't do it. Just do it in 2 steps, no big deal. 72 minus 24. So on the left side, I've got 48 y plus 0. On the right side, 108 plus 36, 144. So all of this simplifies to be 144 plus 0. Again, you can do the red and then the blue in 2 separate steps if you prefer. My last step, I want y by itself. What's blocking that goal is multiplication. So I choose to divide. You always divide by the coefficient. You divide by the number in front of your variable. Coefficient just means number in front of the variable. 144 divided by 48 is 3. So whenever this equation here is true, whenever y equals 3 is true, so pick a number that when you plug it in here, it's equal to 3. Well, it's 3. That is the same number that will make this original equation right here true. All right, if you have questions or comments, email me or your instructor. Hope this helps.